Elizabeth, and this is Ethan, and we've devoted our lives to saving old things.
This doesn't need a smidgen of work.
Saving these houses isn't for the faint of heart.
This is a huge pool.
This is concerning.
Oh, what is that smell?
Ew. But it's worth it. Our cheap old house movement caught fire on social media. Now we're taking buyers house hunting so they can buy and restore a cheap old house of their own. It's gonna eat into your budget a lot.
Yes. Oh my God.
I can't believe this is ours.
For $99,000. With the help of our designer, Jen,
This house is magical.
and our architectural designer, Scott,
There is a fantastic old house hiding under here.
we use the history of the house to design and restore.
This is some sweat equity.
We're showing homeowners the magic
Wow!
of cheap old houses. He likes it!
Welcome to Cheap Old House Country. Today we're going to Granville and Cambridge in upstate New York.
This area is the colored slate capital of the world. Slate roofs, they're so good. If you get a good slate roof on your house, it can last for 100 years. And those are the roofs that have preserved so many homes in this area. Christiana and Nick spent a year trying to see if they could buy New York City, and it was absolutely not a possibility for them.
I'm Christiana Pena.
My name's Nick Porter.
I studied historic preservation, and Nick's really into photography. He has a background in photography. Even though we both have had great jobs and had decent salaries, we are like, how sustainable is living in this city? Nick especially was like, well, but what can we really afford? The desire for an old house was kind of always in the back of my mind, kind of bubbling up.
Honestly, don't know how I'm gonna react to the transition, because I've lived in New York City for like 11 years now. Never thought I'd live anywhere but a city.
Nick would not be doing this if I didn't say we should really do this. So he's doing this because he loves me. My biggest fear is that some weird thing is going to unfold and Nick's gonna be like, oh my God, what are we doing? And I put us there.
What's going on?
Hi. How you doing?
This is a 3,700 square foot house for $149,999.
This is a big house.
Your total budget's $200,000. In this house's amazing price of $149,000, you'll have $50,000 for improvements. Wow.
This is a mix of the Italianate and the stick style, built probably in the 1880s.
Tell me what those words mean.
Okay.
Italianate is a popular 19th century style inspired by 16th century Italian Renaissance architecture. Stick is a mid-Victorian American architectural style, and that's characterized by the use of playful board siding.
The sort of projecting cornice, very Italianate. And then the stick style comes in the form of those, what almost look like 2x4s laying on top of the facade, and that's called sticking.
Tell me about these details up here, like that curly thing.
The curly thing is called fretwork. You can see it on houses throughout the Victorian era.
The good news is most people don't see what it really is hiding. If you take off the siding and the shutters and the porches, you will have an amazing house.
Even just what you can see on the cornice, I have to imagine is just a hint of hopefully what would be hiding underneath that siding.
Yeah.
What was your apartment? Like in the hundreds of square feet? So 370 square feet. This is 10 times that size.
10 apartments, okay.
Wow.
Want to see inside?
Yep.
Let's do this. Oh my God.
Wow.
Look at the floors.
So we're in the center hall, and then you have two parlors, one to the right and one to the left, which could be a dining room and an office.
Our apartment could fit in that nook over there, and like, I don't know what we do with the rest of it. Like,
And we have the rest of our lives to expand into the other rooms. So. We'll start in one room, and then we'll slowly move outward.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you see this fireplace? The
Wow.
slate
Oh my
fireplace.
It looks like it's got marbling on it, but it's slate.
They used to make it look more expensive, they would paint the slate to make it look like marble. Nick.
It's amazing.
It's so pretty. Am I gonna buy the house just for the mantle? Because
Yes.
I might. Like, it's that good.
Well, then you'll be happy to know that there's another matching one in the other parlor, Christiana.
Stop
Oh,
it.
we gotta see that.
So this one can be mine, and that one can be yours.
Yes, you can have his and hers slate
Yeah.
mantles. Let's look upstairs.
This is a bedroom.
Wow, that's big.
It's got original windows. Let's check out this bathroom.
Oh my God. This is so cheap old houses.
This is exciting. These kind of little time capsule treasures, like this is lovely.
Let's go back downstairs.
It's like a battle of the parlors.
We have purple walls. We have this thing, which is kind of cute for a grandma.
Don't knock Grandma.
So to me, that built-in is hideous. That's not original, right?
That's not original. I really think that you could probably restore this entire room for about $500. You need paint for the walls, a sander for the floors, stain on top of that, and then you would need to either redo or take that built-in out. But we're talking maybe $500 for all of that.
Price is right.
It's like really small moves for like a big payoff, it seems like.
Right. Let's check out the kitchen.
Wow.
Wow.
That is
okay.
throwback.
Welcome to the 1960s. Here we are. But come on, come on.
That is good.
That's not bad.
That is so good.
I like that.
You know, a house's story is not just the year it was built. It's all the people that have lived in it over time. And I think finding an artifact like this from probably early 1960s is really fun.
I wonder, was this a double-sided fireplace? Like, could this be opened back up?
Oh my
It
gosh,
looks
you guys,
like
wait
it.
a minute, wait a minute. It's a slate fireplace that someone painted over. This paint has peeled. Oh my gosh,
that's
oh my
coming
gosh,
out.
oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Nice.
Oh, you can see all the
What's under there?
marbling coming through.
It's like I feel like this is like an apple. This is like an apple.
jealous right
This
now.
is like a 2-minute job.
Gosh, that was the most soothing thing I've ever done in my life. The Cambridge house is gorgeous. It needs work though. You need to restore the floors. The colors are a little dated. You could make them more historically accurate. You would want to take the paint off the mantles. Plumbing, electric, there's definitely stuff that needs to be done.
This house has really good bones. You could live in it while you restore it, and the restoration costs overall would be pretty low.
When I saw this house and thought of it for you, I
Yeah.
fell in love with how intact it is and how the bones are all there and how if you want to get your foot in the door with old house restoration, these are aesthetic projects that you can work on together and really learn.
We have just like a galley kitchen now, so this would be a huge upgrade
Do you think the kitchen alone is worth $149,000?
for sure. But as much as we want an old house, this is gonna be our first house, so we need to not like go too big too fast, maybe. Do you have any hesitation though about like just the size of it? It's a big
No.
house.
I mean, there's room to grow.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff we don't like, I feel like we can tear out ourselves. So.
Yeah.
Come with us. We have another house to see.
Oh.
What are we doing here?
This is the cutest 900 square foot cottage. It is $99,000.
$99,000.
We're trying to get out of an apartment, right? We're trying to go a little bit bigger.
I hear you. It comes with this 3,600 square foot church dating
From
back to 1782.
Now you've piqued my interest.
The look of the church right now was really done when it was renovated into a Presbyterian church in the 1870s.
Yeah.
So we're getting full-on Italianate Victorian period details. All the details are perfectly intact. The wood siding is beautiful. All of the trim and details around the windows and doors is intact. So you should leave all that.
This church is $99,000 and your total budget is $200,000. That leaves you $101,000 for some amazing restoration projects on this church.
And this one's very old, and I don't know what's inside it, and I'm a little skeptical.
How much is your rent again in Brooklyn?
$2,300.
And how much is the mortgage gonna be here?
Less than $1,000.
So you have $1,300 every single month that you can put into your church.
So that's a plus for this one already.
That's true. That's true.
Everybody, keep an open mind.
1782.
1, 2, 3, turn around.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Look at this.
So good! This is amazing.
This is huge.
Look at the beautiful alcoves and the curved plasterwork. And then there are these gorgeous golden stained glass windows. And then this beautiful one that's like a picture.
Yeah. I'm just like speechless. I mean, like those windows are incredible. For me, like walking in and just like seeing the light just flood in through those stained glass windows, and especially the one stained glass window that has the kind of pastoral scene. That I love because it makes me think of my father and the fact that he makes stained glass.
I mean, it's amazing and old. Where's the kitchen? Where's all the things that a house has?
We could add that. We can make it happen, right?
I know this sounds ridiculous, but there are so many old churches that have been turned into amazing homes. In a house that's already laid out, you're constrained by what's there, so you don't necessarily have as much creativity. Here, you can have all the original details, but also make it whatever you want, and there's so much freedom in that.
It's hard to see.
It's such like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I'm more stuck on the timeline aspect.
We're gonna bring in a historic preservationist. That's my wife. Interior designer and an amazing contracting team to take care of anything that comes at us. Once we start peeling back this crazy old house that will be like an onion, you will cry, but it won't take that much time.
What I want to know is what the wall's keeping out. Why does it say keep out on it? Oh my God. What I want to know is what the wall's keeping out.
Oh my God.
This is a big hole.
Yep, that's a hole.
How's it looking now? How's your imagination working?
I mean, I don't know. It's like, this is really concerning.
I would say be grateful for this problem that you can see. Some of the worst problems in old houses are hiding behind the walls.
This gives me pause. I have to be honest. It does. This is a huge hole, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big thing.
The bigger the hole, it's just more floorboards. It doesn't mean it's a bigger problem. You could have multiple living areas, a library, a dining room. You could put a kitchen over here.
I'll keep adding. That could be your office, an air hockey table right in the middle.
And there's so many original features left. And the ceiling definitely has, oh my God, what?
This is,
What?
Wait,
there
I don't
is
see it.
something underneath the peeling paint.
There's like a clear, like pinkish line.
Yeah.
I think there's a fresco on the ceiling.
And
Oh
it could be
my
a crazy
word.
mural, but it could also be a really awesome art piece in your old historic house. This is why you buy a cheap old house, is for the cool things that you discover that no one else can have.
Does the excitement of the ceiling outweigh the terror of the hole in the floor for you?
Hands down, yes. That's incredible.
It's also like living in a loft building that you can never afford in New York City.
Yeah.
For $99,000?
I'm wrapping my head around it a little bit. Like, if this were loft-style living in New York, it would be incredible. So I could just come in here and pretend I'm in New York.
You're in New York.
Oh,
Vermont's right over there, though. So don't think about these houses as where they are right now. They need a lot of work. But where do you want to be living in 3 years?
A fully intact house?
Let's weigh the pros and cons. The pros are obviously the beautiful character, the stained glass windows, the alcoves, the ceiling, which could also be a con because we don't really know what's underneath it. Another con is the giant hole in the floor. The pro is it's $99,000, which is $50,000 cheaper than the other house, which leaves you $50,000 to solve the other con, which is the fact that there's no kitchen and no bathroom.
Yeah. I really like the Granville Church, and it's hard because I know you're kind of conflicted.
I mean, I like the first one because it was big, had a lot of rooms, fireplaces.
So those fireplaces were pretty spectacular.
Plus, it seems like it's actually ready to move in.
I love the idea of the church because it just checks so many boxes as well. It has this incredible...
Other than not having a floor,
yeah.
which seems like a big risk.
But your ticket like through the door is way more affordable. So you have the maximum available to us to still start working on things.
I don't like the hole.
Yeah.
She loves it, I can tell that. I'm evolving quickly. All right, guys, so I think we're gonna take the church.
What? We're saying yes. I know you said we didn't have to decide today, but like, yes!
Oh my God. Wait, high five.
Like you were gonna tell me that. Anyone can live in a house, but how many people get to say that they live in and got to restore this church?
I am so excited to start the work on this place with you.
This is the best of both worlds. We get to restore a historic building on the outside and get really creative on the inside.
And it doesn't have to take, 20-some years, little...
It cannot take 21
We're
years.
gonna bring in a construction crew, plumber, electrician. There will be restoration people, interior designer, and we will finish this where it's a really amazing place for you.
I'm gonna allow myself to feel a little excitement. I'm excited.
We gotta go make an offer. Let's make a phone call.
We're gonna have our interior designer, Jen, meet with Christiana and Nick. Jennifer Salvamini is an awesome interior designer who shares our love for old houses. She starts with the architecture, and then she tells the story of the house through fun, fresh design. What we love about her is that she's able to make old houses feel modern and livable while still honoring their history and architecture.
Jen?
Hey, guys.
She's gonna learn all about their lifestyles and their tastes, and she's gonna incorporate it into a design that's appropriate for the building.
I think the most important thing for us is that it stay big and stay open. Like, we really want to just celebrate the grandeur of the
Grandeur
space.
is the word.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this might be the most challenging design project I've ever had to do. Got about 2,000 uninterrupted square feet, and it has to feel like a home at the end of it.
We both work from home, so we're eager to have big, flexible workspace. We have separate workspaces now. They can stay separate, they could be together, they could be really close to each other. I'd be okay with that.
Would you be okay with that? Okay, good.
We're not necessarily big cooks, but now that we're out here in the country and we have space, we're like interested to see kind of what the right kitchen for us might be.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe some creative space. I do a little photography on the side.
And do you guys entertain at all? Do you imagine that the space is going to be used for throwing events or parties
I mean, you're
or
welcome
dinner parties?
anytime, Jen. You only have to ask. I mean,
I'm here.
I think that we're going to feel compelled to invite people over.
To not have company over would kind of be criminal.
It would be a sin.
It would be a sin. So I kind of took the liberty of preparing some stuff for us to look at today so we can explore some design options.
Yeah.
So typically what I do with all of my clients is start them off with 3 different design directions. There is the safe choice, something that's kind of readily accessible and comfortable for most people. And then we move on to something a little sexier, a little bit more provocative, something that kind of pushes the boundaries just a little bit.
Okay.
And then there's the wild card.
Oh my gosh.
And all of the choices are sort of inspired by the church itself. We're going to start here with our safe choice. Serene, pastoral, kind of earthy color palette. And all of this is drawn from Victorians being naturalists. You would see botanicals showing up everywhere. Easy, yummy, comfortable. Your mom would love it. Or at least my mom would. All right, so we're gonna move on to sexy, provocative, a little edgy. Drawing from the amazing warm glowiness of the church, gold hues showing up in fabric like velvet, sepia, photography-inspired monochromatic color palette.
Now you're talking.
And then we're contrasting that with some very sort of like dark, grounding, black notes, which we may see in some countertops and some painting trim. And now we're gonna move on to the wild card. First of all, it's disco church, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty obvious by the giant disco ball. I thought to myself, what are some other ways that we can play with this concept of church? Nightlife can be church to some, and some classic New York City clubs, they actually were churches.
Yeah.
I don't know if a disco ball actually lands in the church, but we can think about that happening. As you can see here, we've got a full spectrum color palette, and it was inspired by our amazing middle stained glass situation. I was immediately drawn to that pink moment happening in there, which feels so special.
The disco's fun.
I like the hot pink, I gotta say.
There's a part of me that wants to be bold. I mean, why not? But
Yeah.
at the same time, this one will work with a lot of the things that we already have and that are obviously coming with us. I collect reproductions of a very famous painting by Gainsborough called Blue Boy. I like a lot of kind of Picasso era, like abstract art. Nick likes a lot of like graphic art. And so
And
all
some
these things live
photographic
together.
prints and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I feel like the photography like also is really echoing a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
very much appreciate that part.
something like this, I think, can support that kind of collection.
So this palette is a super nice choice for you because it allows for all of that diversity of art in all of its various colors and schemes. But this also does that.
Maybe it's a hot pink pillow on top of this.
Ooh, there we go.
So I could see this one with like hot pink laser beams going through it.
I think that we're gonna go for number 2.
Let's call it sexy sepia.
I think this one is hitting all the marks in all the right ways. And then kind of letting elements of 3 kind of like pepper themselves in.
Terrific. Okay.
Agreed.
Did we just design for our church house?
We sure did.
Oh my God. High fives, guys.
Putting hardwood flooring in here would cost upwards of $20,000 because of the square footage. Using plywood and painting it a rich espresso brown not only works for the design, but is a practical choice and will only cost us $7,000. The kitchen will likely take up most of the budget because we have a ton of space to fill. We'll use local slate countertops and create a custom island in the center. I want to highlight this incredible alcove, so I'm installing a giant sepia-toned landscape. This is a smart solution for creating big visual impact in a single step. It also helps ground the dining room, which is really the heart of our space, where a massive brass chandelier floats above an oversized dining table surrounded by a set of traditional Windsor chairs.
We're excited to work with you on this, so I guess make it so.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna take a little bit more than snapping our fingers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at this place. Today, I'm dragging Elizabeth around, sourcing.
Ooh, cute.
Oh, look at this spot.
This is pretty, Jen.
Yeah, this is great, actually. This might work for the kitchen. The colors are great, and the proportions are awesome. We should definitely take it. Okay, Chesterfield, this would be amazing for our parlor situation.
I'm just gonna test it out. Ooh.
All right.
It's so important sitting here.
It's very masculine.
I know, I feel like it's very vintage, but it definitely balances the very sort of feminine lines of some of the Victorian items.
Totally. Excuse me?
Yes?
Hi. The Chesterfield love seat?
Oh, it's a beautiful one.
How much is it?
400.
We're gonna think about it.
There is one impossible thing that we've been looking around for. This church is very large, and the kitchen is very wide, and we're looking for something we can turn into a custom island.
I might have something.
Oh my gosh, you would be our hero.
This is an old counter we pulled out of a shop.
Oh my gosh, this is great. We could have a cabinet maker customize an island for us for probably about $11,000. We can find something that's so much cooler, more historically appropriate, and customized to what we want by salvaging it. Where did this come from?
It came out of an old store in Argyle, New York.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is perfect. If we can just build it out with a countertop on top of it so that we have a bit of an overhang, run a bunch of stools in front of it, and look at all this amazing display opportunities we have. How much is it?
It's $400.
$400?
Now, mind you, if it's in perfect condition, you're looking at a $2,000, $3,000, piece of furniture.
Sure,
That's what I thought you were
It
gonna
needs
say.
a lot of work.
Well, I think at that price point, we can totally afford the Chesterfield as well.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Let's go pay.
All right, lead the way.
We got some amazing things for $950.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, hey, Ben.
We just finished the side yard. The siding is a little bit damaged where the shrubs were. You could re-side it and spend up to $70,000. But I think we can reuse this siding because it's old growth wood in terms of design inspiration. The building is from the 1700s. What do you want to do with it in the modern day?
She definitely needs a facelift. Repaint the entire exterior. Bring it back to more traditional Victorian palette. The Victorians ranged in palettes from the garish, super colorful gingerbread style to earth tones.
I think definitely the 1870s, when this church was renovated, was a period when they were really into those earth tones.
And then a few pops of color to highlight all of the amazing woodwork and details.
That's gonna be awesome.
The exterior paint color is definitely gonna have to work with the color of the stained glass as well.
There's a lot of trim work that needs to be replicated and replaced. In the doorway, there's some. Way up at the top, there's a big section that we need to fix. The beauty, though, is that we already know what it should look like because most of it still exists. So it's really a matter of copying that exact profile and then just replicating it. And
You
usually,
want to put just a 2x4 there?
we're not putting a 2x4. No.
We're gonna take the doors off the church and we're gonna start the process of restoring them.
All right.
You can use this speed heater and cook the paint. It's pretty quick, and then you can scrape it off. It takes about 3 seconds. I like to use this scraper and the speed gun for the flat parts. But then on all the trim, it's super detailed, and you can't use this to kind of get in every single detail. So I like to use the chemical strip and that kind of helps with the trim. Basically, you put it on for 24 hours, you put it on, and then you scrape it off. It's really mucky and gross and
Very satisfying,
time-consuming,
probably.
but it's satisfying.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
How close should he be?
It's gonna be like an inch or two, and the closer you are, the faster it cooks. You don't want to burn the wood.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Nice.
Ooh.
Look at that wood. That's like 5 or 6 layers of paint right there. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take this handle off because look at this thing. I think this could be from the 1700s. It's an old heart handle.
Very cool. Oh, wow.
And we got some original foam. Cool.
Preserve that for posterity.
So we're gonna take this to a woodworker, and he's gonna patch some of this trim work, like right here.
Oh, yeah.
But we're saving about $500 by stripping the paint and getting it ready for him.
Oh, cool.
I like the sound of that.
I'm excited that we're able to just strip this, refurbish it, and reuse it.
All right, I'm gonna leave you to it. Have fun.
Woohoo!
Later. Paint removal is super important when renovating a cheap old house. Over the years, people paint layer over layer. With some hard work, you can remove multiple layers of paint. This is an inexpensive way to make a huge difference very fast.
Oh, wow. Wow. Amazing. You really start to see the patterns that are happening now.
Huge circle right in the middle.
Yeah, right in the center.
To restore something like this is going to cost upwards of, I don't know, $100,000 to do a pristine restoration on this mural. So that's something that they could do in the future, but I feel like leaning into the distressed, just uncovering it is so magical.
So is a fresco different than a painting on the plaster, or is it the same? Is there watercolor?
You know who would actually know this is Scott. Scott is basically a walking encyclopedia of historical homes. He helps us anytime we have a question about the history or value of anything we find inside these houses. In this case, we need him to tell us whether or not this is a fresco.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Scott, we're in this church right now that we're restoring, and we figured you could help us piece together the history of it a little bit. We've uncovered this beautiful fresco. Do you have any thoughts on how this was installed?
I do. With a ceiling like this, even though it has that feel of a fresco, I don't think that's what we have here.
We've uncovered this beautiful fresco. Do you have any thoughts on how this was installed?
With a ceiling like this, even though it has that feel of a fresco, I don't think that's what we have here. Instead, I think this was probably painted over the plaster once the plaster was dry versus a fresco, which is done when the plaster is wet.
You wouldn't call it a fresco then?
I wouldn't call it a fresco. I would call it to use the French term trompe-l'œil. So to fool the eye, it's shellac between the layers of paint. And once again, when it's all finished. And that shellac finish is probably what's allowed you to separate this really, really awful stippled ceiling from this incredible masterpiece that you are finding below.
So we can thank the shellac for the preservation. We really appreciate all your insight.
Thank you. Happy restoring.
Thank you. I took the liberty of going through your stuff. You found all the boys. What exactly drew you to Mr. Blue Boy?
I think the reason that I started collecting him was because it feels like you're kind of transporting yourself back to a different moment in kind of American culture when people thought having this in my home said something about me.
You know, one of my general rules is that you never procure art for the space itself. That's when you wind up having spaces that feel like catalogs, or that there isn't a real person that lives there. And how it lands in the space kind of doesn't matter. Because if you love it and you love looking at it, then it's already good. Here we have some of Nick's actual photography.
Yeah, I took these. I'm obsessed with multiple views of the same thing. These all came from the same building.
That exact idea translates into interior design. When we're creating cohesive spaces, that's exactly what we want to do, is repeat pattern, texture, color. Then you go ahead and mix it up by throwing something in so that your eye goes from comfort to a little bit of tension. So that's why mixing art actually really does work in a space.
Well, I'm glad that Blue Boys are going to have a space
Oh,
in
they're
our new
having a
space
space,
because
yes.
I could not bear to keep them in storage.
No, you can't live without them.
You watch when it becomes the next trend. You're gonna know where it started.
You will get the credit for sure.
If she just gets a couple more Blue Boys, there won't be room for anything else.
So I'm taking Christiana and Nick to a pro to fix the door and get some of the trim work remade. Yeah, we stripped them, but we need your help with the woodwork.
All right.
There's some rot on the bottom. There's a few pieces of trim work missing, like here.
All these pieces can be made. We have the technology to do so.
Awesome. How much do you think new doors would cost if they had to get new doors?
They're worth saving. You're not gonna go buy these, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
You can't replace these with anything modern. Any wooden doors that you buy, they're all glued together, pressed. Looks like a solid piece, but they are not solid.
I say we fix these up.
Well, give us a call when you're ready.
All right.
And we'll pick them up.
All right, well, we'll get on it.
Thank you, sir.
Christiana and I pulled these very 1990s chandeliers from the church, and they're just a little tacky. So what we're gonna do is instead of replacing these for upwards of $12,000 right now, we're just gonna antique these enough to make them blend in for around $40. I mean, the shape of this fixture, because it's kind of a colonial shape, almost harkens back to the original church structure before it was renovated into something Victorian. So I almost think it could give off a look as if these were original. Obviously not electrified.
I mean, we're not gonna go back to like beeswax candles. You're not gonna give me like a big ladder to just light them by hand.
I wish I could give you that level of authenticity, Christiana, but I can't.
I thought you were my friend.
And then we'll swing it around so that you're towards the back, Elizabeth. So.
Wow, it feels like a real house kind of
I
now,
know,
right?
it feels like a house now. It's amazing.
So this hardware must be, well, let's see, it was probably from the 1880s, 1890s. So what is that, 130, 140 years old?
Amazing, and now they're gonna be completely repurposed.
150-year-old hardware, meet 150-year-old ceiling.
Elizabeth, Jed, check out what I got.
What do you have?
So I've got something special from Christiana's dad.
What is it?
I'm not really sure what it is. Look how beautiful. I'm just oh, wow. So I've got something special from Christiana's dad. Oh, wow. Look how beautiful the color.
I totally forgot her dad is a stained glass artist. Oh, that is going to look
Look at all the wavy
gorgeous.
glass.
This is gonna match our colors perfectly.
What a sweet gift.
I think it could go in the transom is what I'm looking at, and he might have had an idea for it right in that area. You think that kind of works?
That's totally it.
I love how simple it is. I just feel like it's got just enough color that's gonna pop. I love how we're uncovering centuries of history in this church, and now they're adding their next layer to this story. It's really heartwarming.
The exterior of the church still needs a ton of painting. There's scaffolding going up and down. There's a lot of little details on the front side. All those little buttons and bosses are getting covered. There's a lot of trim work that needs to be fixed. And it's getting done, but it is coming down to the wire. Let's see if this can go up here.
It's one of a kind.
I can't believe Christiana's dad made these. You guys think I'm gonna drop these or what?
No, don't.
That's not funny.
Let's see if this works.
Yay.
It's
oh my God. It's amazing.
That looks so good.
I feel like it's like in the tradition of stained glass having been often sort of gifted by a congregation member or a family member, and it's sort of just a piece of the story of this church. We have to call them and thank them.
All right, let's get them on video chat. Hello, is this Deb?
Hi, Jose. Hi, Deb.
Hi, guys.
The stained glass is beautiful. The colors are amazing. They're gonna be so happy. I'm gonna cry thinking about it.
Thank you for you guys to make it all possible.
Yes, thank you guys.
There, go team.
See that the church has some other windows, and I got a feeling she'll be asking me to take care of those.
We think so too.
Christiana is going to be in a pool of tears when she sees that sign.
Wow, it's come so, oh my gosh, it's come so far.
We're pretty close. I mean, we've got a kitchen, we've got clean walls, we've got floors.
We're in a good place to get your furnishings in here, get all this place designed for Christiana and Nick.
They're gonna see it for the first time tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Are you good?
I've got a lot of work to do, so you guys go on.
Oh
and
my
get at it.
gosh.
What we have to do is stage all of the rooms, lay the carpets, put the furniture down, position them just so, make sure that all of the rooms are floating in their proper spaces with enough room in between each of them. And then we have to style, and then we have to hang art, and then the plants have to go in and they have to look pretty. 1, 2, 3. Just getting in the small little details that really make it feel like Christiana and Nick's home, bringing in their specific items while trying to tie them all in with the things that we've found for them. Of course we're gonna make it. Or maybe not, I don't know, we'll find out.
I'm feeling like it's nerves, like I'm nervous.
I'm mostly nervous about the lifestyle change.
I feel like I'm pinning a lot of expectation and hope on this house.
Hey, you guys.
Oh my God.
It looks like a building
so,
that's painted.
And new. Oh,
Look at this.
my gosh.
Look at the
that.
sign.
Look at that sign.
Wow.
The sign is fresh.
Hey, Jen.
Welcome home.
Oh.
Got out of the car. I don't know, my mind kind of went blank.
It went from bright white to mimicking natural brownstone, which was all the rage when this church would have been renovated in the 1870s.
You can really appreciate the lines of the church now in a way that's almost like sharp and minimal. And then we went with a lighter gray to sort of contrast all of those amazing, beautiful details against that sort of warm brown.
I was just thinking I've never seen gray pop so hard.
Right?
It's
Not
such a
even with the same.
transformation. Like,
Yeah.
The paint looks incredible.
Now it feels like the church is living up to what the sign represents. Like the sign says it's the first church in the town of Granville, and that's significant.
We didn't add anything to the outside of this building, except for one thing we did add. Do you notice anything different above the front doors?
Oh, you added stained glass.
Yeah.
That is from your
This is from your
dad
dad.
and mom.
Are you serious? Yeah!
It's from Deb and Jose.
Deb and Jose. I love it because it enhances, it doesn't compete with anything going on here. It just enhances it.
Beautiful compliment.
Perfect.
The building needed a lot of love, as you know.
Yeah.
There was landscaping added. We fixed up the
yeah, I
sign.
mean,
the
we're
whole
like-
paint, the whole church was painted. And the light fixture was added. That is from Authentic Designs, a local firm here who makes awesome, authentic period pieces.
I'm pretty sure what was there before was like a wire hanger and like a glass
It
bowl
was
or
so
something.
janky.
I think the janky was the style of the church before we got here.
I can't believe this is ours. This is just like surreal.
You guys live here for $99,000.
I feel like you just scored a cheap old mansion.
The light, it's like emanating warmth, you know? Like I can see for the light inside, like already coming through.
Wait until you get inside because
Oh my
it
gosh.
is warmth and glowy. All right,
I don't know if I'm prepared for this.
after you.
All right.
Holy.
Oh my God!
Holy.
Oh my God!
Wow.
This is your church. Welcome home.
I can't believe what she did. This is crazy. I'm just like,
I can't.
This looks like a totally different building.
wow.
Still processing.
Look at all the blue points.
Oh my God. Blue boy wall.
Oh my goodness.
Tears don't lie. You know that it's a real, authentic emotion.
I just can't believe it. Like, look at the ceiling.
Look at the ceiling, right? Let's look at the ceiling.
This is more than I could have imagined.
That's the journey of restoration. You guys took that chance. There was a whole mural under there.
It just frames the whole space.
Wow. I can't believe the way you've made it feel like little spaces in a big space.
I couldn't have imagined it before, but it leads you around.
I don't even know what to look at first. It's all so good.
Yeah, it's hard to know where to focus.
We really use the stained glass windows as a point of reference to carry the golden tones throughout. Really brought the space together. I love how this dining room feels the most traditional of any of the spaces, that it has these extremely traditional Windsor chairs.
Walking in, just the way that the chandelier just anchors everything, like it draws you to this.
This is your new rocking chair.
Stop it.
This is the library.
Do I look at home?
How many times have I asked for a couch like this?
You've asked for a Chesterfield for like ages.
It came from a local shop in Granville.
I love this thing. We haven't mentioned the obvious thing.
Which is what?
There's no hole anymore.
Oh, yeah. That mural back there, like that's totally...
unbelievable.
It's so perfect.
The Italianate period, this is our modern, sexy homage to that.
It's sexy sepia.
This is nuts.
This island that we created is from an old general store or diner. The countertop is slate.
I'm losing myself.
Our kitchen we're leaving is like this. Like, I don't even know what to do with all of this.
Yeah,
Christiana, I thought you could just sit here and you can chop vegetables and stare at the blue boys.
Yeah, hey. It feels so adult. Like, it just feels so like, ooh, I hope I can live up to this kitchen. They just knocked it out of the park.
You have the coolest house in Granville.
I mean, I do, though.
Bring all the friends up. They can sleep
nuts.
over.
This is loft living, but classy.
Super classy.
I feel really heard by Jen. She didn't come in and she's like, I'm gonna design something for you. It's like she took our stuff and just made some sense of it. Like my boys over there.
Like my things?
Yeah, yours are fine. But mine over there, the fact that she embraced that makes me so happy.
A lot of these houses don't get so lucky. And we know that Christiana and Nick, they're going to take such good care of it.
Hi, guys.
And the way Jen pulled it off is just like, utterly magical.
Oh my goodness, it was my pleasure.
It feels like us, but like elevated. I feel like you really listened to us and you weren't just like, okay, that's cute, but this is what it's gonna be.
Which is not easy.
Oh, I'm
good.
so glad you like it.
Thank you so much.
I hope it feels like home.
It does.
Well, should we celebrate a little bit?
Let's do it.
So
All right,
let's
let me
do
get
it.
some glasses.
Okay.
I guess what made me feel emotional was just seeing how happy she was and the work everyone put into it.
Wait, this is mine. Do we need coasters? Like, I feel like I'm never gonna take care of anything the way I'm gonna take care of this now.
There are coasters, in fact.
I'm
Should
gonna
we grab some?
I'm gonna make people like put on booties when they come in and like wear white gloves and like do not leave rings on my surfaces.
Like a crime scene?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
This was the way this church was meant to be. It just feels right.
That seems overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm eating many crows because I couldn't have imagined this. So.
I can roast those crows in my new, I don't know.
Delicacy somewhere, I guess.
You guys kicking butt. Cheers.
Oh my gosh. Cardio
Cheers.
You gotta be real like fancy with these because
Pinkies out, kids.
Yeah.
Congrats.